Welcome to our second ever podcast, Socks and 60. I am the X and Socks, Xavier. He's the S and Seamus. And we have a full show today. We're going to discuss the NFC and AFC East and some little NBA action. So let's get this show on the road with the NFC East. So, Seamus, you may begin.
The Cowboys definitely made some moves. They made the first major move they did was get Cedric Thornton to improve their D line. He's gonna be a great pickup. Their D line wasn't great last year. He's gonna definitely make it better.
Definitely not.
And then getting Alfred Morris. I think any running back will flourish with that offensive line. I mean, we saw Derek McFadden have another breakout year, and I don't even know if Alfred Morris is gonna play that much because again they got Ezekiel Elliott. They have a pretty decent backfield there in Dallas. What do you think about the Cowboys?
I really love the Alfred Morris pickup. I think it's going to be a little like Buffalo from last year. Morris may not do too much. He'll have like a Sean McCoy role, but I think Ezekiel Elliott will be like Carlos Williams and flourish in that backfield. And I think it's going to be a really good season for the Cowboys. Maybe not win too many games. Maybe just miss the playoffs or just make the playoffs, but it's going to be a bright future
NFC
for them.
The toss-up anyway, like with the standings later. But Let's go over to the Giants now. Let's go over to New York. The Giants signed probably the best pass rusher. The Giants signed the best pass rusher in the NFL. Well, free agent at least, Olivier Vernon. And it's not Oliver, it's spelled Olivier. Met some interference coming on.
You have to edit that out.
Excuse that interruption.
Edit
podcast there.
Edit that out.
Okay, yeah, I will. Okay. And plus, it was in the beginning too, which makes it easier to edit out. Let's move over. Wait, I just started there, so that worked. Okay, let's move over. Crap, I can't talk now. Let's move over to New York now, with the Giants getting the best free agent pass rusher, Olivier Vernon. It's not Oliver, it's Olivier. Look at the spelling, never lies. I think this is a great pickup. I mean, with JPP, I think they franchise tagged JPP, and he's only going to be around for a year. He's either franchise tag or signed to a 1-year deal. I don't remember at this point. But
he was signed to a 1-year deal.
Okay, because I don't remember. And they could lose him. He played pretty well considering he didn't have all his fingers or they were injured. And with another pass rusher, I feel like that defense is just getting better. And let's move over to they lost a Prince Amukamara, which is kind of devastating. Their secondary was kind of meh. I mean, they had big names, but they didn't perform as well. They got Janoris Jenkins, which is a decent move, but he wasn't a number one, and they're paying him number one corner money. And in St. Louis, they weren't even called he wasn't even a number one corner in St. Louis. So I don't know how he's going to play in New York with a team that has a pretty old secondary, corners at least.
I think that's going to be a good secondary, though. However,
yeah,
I disagree.
I feel like Janoris Jenkins, as a lot of free agents are now, is a little overpaid considering he was a number two, and he did have some good plays. And then another addition to their secondary, Eli Apple, who has a great upside. He's going to be a young player, and with a defense who's kind of getting up there in age, much like the Cowboys, they signed another D lineman. They signed Damon Harrison from the Jets, not moving at all, basically, just moving conferences. Damon Harrison, great D tackle, but we don't know how he's gonna play in this Giant system. I mean, in New York, he was surrounded by other superstars in the D line, middle linebackers, and stuff like that. So we can see how he does by himself. Hopefully, it's not a Byron Maxwell situation, moving from a good team with a good system with good players around him to a team that's not so good. We're gonna talk about that a little later, next actually.
Yes, we will.
So that's a good transition. Byron Maxwell. The Eagles cut him. Well, not cut him. They traded him rather, which I feel like was a pretty good move. Getting rid of all the Chip Kelly crap that went on. They traded him and Kiko Alonso, Kiko Alonso is a pretty good player. He just didn't fit within the system.
I like Kiko Alonso a lot as a player. Actually, I think he's a great middle linebacker. I think he's an all-pro middle linebacker. He was in Buffalo, and I think Chip Kelly. Being an Oregon fan, I love my Ducks, but. Carried away.
Yeah, they traded both of them to the Dolphins. We'll talk about that a little later. You'll talk about that a little later with the AFC East.
Yes,
another thing that the Eagles did was sign Brandon Brooks, a guard, and they improved their offensive line, which was not too great last year. They lost Evan Mathis.
Dumbest move in free agency last year was losing Evan Mathis.
Yeah, they questionably didn't want to re-sign him. They also signed Kliko Osemele, probably the best offensive offensive lineman in free agency. And then they also signed Steven Winiski. I don't really know how to say his name, from Jacksonville. So they pretty much built up their O line with the best O lineman in free agency, which was pretty good. A questionable move was re-signing Sam Bradford,
There we
which
go.
I don't
Samuel.
understand. I don't understand. He didn't play great at all. He hasn't really played great in his career at all. And they get Carson Wentz. Then they get that guy from Kansas City. So their quarterbacks, some of
Chase
them are being
Daniels.
paid. Yeah, Chase Daniels. All three of their quarterbacks, some of them are being paid more than starters, which is so questionable. I don't know why you don't just cut Bradford or trade him or something. And the last
Uh,
major move the Eagles made was getting Rodney McLeod. I think that's how you say his name,
McLeod.
from Los Angeles or St. Louis. Well, Los Angeles now, St. Louis then.
Yeah.
So the Eagles, they're gonna have a pretty good safety unit. They already had Malcolm Jenkins, and now they're gonna have Rodney McLeod. They don't have great corners, but I feel like their secondary can at least be passable with those two good safeties.
No, you didn't talk about this, but I liked Ruben Randall, the pickup. Kind of went
Oh yeah,
under the radar. Ruben Randall's a great young receiver. I kind of wish one of our teams would have got Ruben Randall. He's a great player. I think he's going to flourish with the Eagles if they can get consistent quarterback help. Jordan Matthews, Ruben Randall, Zach Ertz at tight end. It's going to be a
yeah.
great
They have a good young core.
young core right there. Yeah.
hmm
Running back's a
Another
little
team.
shaky, but other than that,
Okay. Another team that didn't do much was the Redskins. They didn't really make many moves. They more just re-signed players. They franchise tagged Kirk Cousins, who had kind of a breakout season. He didn't start off well, but he finished, and that's pretty much all that matters, how you finish. They're able to lose Chris Culliver, who was just giving them constant problems, and get Josh Norman.
Yes.
Josh Norman's a little older. He's only had one good season, and you know, I feel like we can see how he's gonna do. I mean, it's kind of 50-50 if he's gonna still be great.
If he could play like he did last year, I think that Norman,
Yeah.
great corner. They really needed corner help last year.
We've seen a lot of great corners in
Yeah.
free agency. Uh, like be really good in one place and then be bad. Most popular is Nandi Asamoah in 2011, going from the Raiders to the Eagles. That was a disaster. He was
Yes, it
great on
was.
the Raiders. So it's kind of corners like that are pretty tough. And as we mentioned earlier, they cut Alfred Morris, which I don't really like that move at all. I know they were kind of trying to move on and get Matt Jones, but he was one of the worst running backs in terms of efficiency. And
Yeah,
I
he
know
was
he's
quite
kind
up
of
and
young,
down.
but I don't like that move.
Neither do I. I'm not big on Alfred Morris. They used him quite well. The line's pretty good over there in Washington. It's not as good as Dallas's line, but it's not bad either. And I think he could have ran great behind it. And Kirk Cousins could have really used the help with Alfred Morris running that ball. But like you said, if Norman, can get to that level again, it's a great move. They needed help with the
Yeah.
corner. That's basically why they lost. Their
NFC
number one
East
was Deion Hall. So,
was pretty light in terms of changes. I mean, I think it was the Giants that basically won a free agency in this NFC East.
you think so?
And we can go to predictions now for the NFC East. It's a toss up every single year. I believe in the last 10
Who you
years the
got?
team was repeated. I
So
got them. I got the Redskins, Cowboys, and Giants going 9-7, all three of them. And then
so who wins the tiebreaker?
Then I got the Eagles going 5-11. I got the Redskins winning the tiebreaker. They're going
You have the
5-1 in the division.
Ooh, okay. So you think going back
Cowboys going 2-4 in the division, and the Giants going 3-3. So I got the Eagles going the worst 5-11. It's really a toss up. It's just kind of impossible because you don't know who's going to be a breakout, especially in the NFC East. It always changes. It's just I got the Redskins winning.
you'd be quite surprised by my predictions. I've been tossing this out for a couple of days now, and I disagree with your winner of free agency. You had the G-men. They did good, but I had the Eagles. I think they really improved where they needed to. They got rid of Chip Kelly's goons. They're out. So now the Eagles can finally focus on what is right. I think that's the winner there. Just getting rid of Chip Kelly's disaster duckness. See ya. And now that not necessarily they won for player wise, but won as a franchise. And I'm going completely off the map. I got the G-men going 11-5 this year. I think they'd be a breakout team. G-men, the Giants, going to win the NFC East. For number 2, I got the Redskins going 10-6. They're gonna make the playoffs too. I think they're gonna be a wild card team. Dallas will also go 10-6. They'll probably one of them will miss out, one of them will make it. We'll have to see when the time gets there. And I got the Eagles going 8-8. Kind of surprising, but I think Carson Wentz is going to take over. Carson Wentz, I'm high on Carson Wentz. I think he's a great quarterback. Maybe not, maybe 6-10, 6-10, 8-8, around that area for the Eagles. I don't think they're going to be awful though.
Yeah, a lot of our predictions were pretty close. I got
Yep.
Eagles, like I said, Eagles 5-11, Giants 9-7. That was pretty much the only different one in terms, like completely different.
Yeah, I'm
So-
really high on the Giants.
You want to switch conferences and go over to the other East, the AFC East.
Oh, I would love to. All right, we're going to start with our hometown Patriots, because why not? They did a lot of moves at free agency. They did Chris Hogan, 7-11, his nickname, because he's always open. I don't know about that. We'll have to see.
I'm kind of disappointed by that move. I mean, the Patriots definitely need to get some more depth at wide receiver. They lost Brandon LaFell, who definitely did not play well last season. But I think, as we talked about last episode, but I feel like Chris Hogan wasn't a great pickup. They've missed out on other receivers, Marvin Jones, for example. They could have got
My boy
him.
Marvin Jones, but yeah.
I don't like. He's not a terrible move, but I feel like it doesn't really change that wide receiver core that much, especially with injury. How many injuries there were in the core last year. I think they definitely need to get more depth. But I don't think Chris Hogan's the answer.
I think they missed the whole point. We needed wide receivers. We, as in Patriots. I'm sorry, the Pats. Force a habit. We needed good wide receivers, and who do we get? We get a mid-level, if that, at best, a mid-tier wide receiver. And I think they just lost sight on the big picture. We need a big-time wide receiver, like a Brandon Marshall, Denarius Thomas. I know they weren't available this season, but still, that's who we need. And we just, kind of lost purpose. You see what Moss did in the system a couple years ago, and we could have that again. That would be amazing. So, yeah. Next move, we got Chris Long. I'm very happy about this move, Chris Long.
Yeah, with this too, lost Chandler Jones.
Yes, I think he's gonna be a great rusher. I think we got pennies for Chandler Jones. I think that trade was absolutely terrible, but
actually, the trade maybe it may not be as bad as a lot of people think. I honestly don't like that trade that much. Since we got Chris Long in the long run, Chandler Jones was about to be a free agent in 2017. He was going to ask for a huge contract. This is basically kind of a cap dump, essentially. And I feel like maybe I know this offensive lineman. I think his name was Jonathan Cooper. I forget his name. Oh yes, I know he hasn't played great, but I feel like maybe there is a small chance Patriots change offensive line coaches. Change it back to their old one back when they had a pretty dominant offensive line. I feel like if he can have a breakout season, that trade will be a lot better than a lot of people think it is. I honestly don't think that's a bad trade that much to begin with. It's capped up to get Chris Long.
I mean, if I remember correctly, it was a second-round pick, Mr. Cooper, for Chandler Jones, if I do remember correctly. And my problem with it is I think they could have just got someone better. That's all. I mean, there could have been someone. There's people better on the Cardinals we could have got. Maybe like a Michael Floyd or J.J. Brown. Just someone better. Even a better wide receiver, for that matter, that we were talking about. Instead of Chris Hogan, we could have got like a Michael Floyd, who's, I think, really broke out last season. But yeah. Or even a better lineman. Maybe Mike Upati, if they were willing to give him up. Because I'm pretty sure Chandler Jones is going to resign with the Cardinals. So we basically gave them Chandler Jones for a bag of donuts. So next move, pot roast, Terrence Knighton. All these guys have nicknames. Don't worry about it. What do you think of Terrence Knighton?
Well, I think that's a great move. Malcolm Brown and Alan Branch, Alan Branch especially, they were kind of mediocre. They weren't amazing. I feel like replacing them with Terrence Knighton, who is going to remind a lot of people in New England of Vince Wilfork. I mean, they're similar size. I think Terrence Knighton's a little taller, actually.
He is, and fatter.
Yeah, he's going to be a great run stopper, just like Wilfork. And I really like that move. And with all the people they got, Martellus Bennett, Chris Long, Nate Washington, Terrence Knighton, they all signed up to short-term deals valued at less than $10 million combined. This is great because it shows that how many people want to come to the Patriots, whether it's not a max contract or not. And it's definitely great. New England's great at managing salary cap, and this is a great salary way to manage salary cap.
See, I think we have a different perspective on this because I think there was a reason we only signed him to a short-term deal, and that was to mentor Malcolm Brown. Malcolm Brown is a great defensive tackle. He showed promise last year, and I think we're trying to mentor Brown with Pot Roast. I don't think Pot Roast will be the starter for much. I think he's going to start games, but I don't think he's going to play the most snaps. I think he's going to teach Brown how to play defensive tackle, and I think that's what we're doing. Kind of have a different perspective on the whole.
What I was saying was all the people they signed were on short-term deals and were less than 10 million combined. All the new people at least.
Right.
And I think that's like not just Terrence Knighton. So
Oh no, I'm just saying Terrence Knight, and I think him specifically. I'm not saying everyone, but just him specifically. That's why I'm not saying everyone we signed.
Mm-hmm.
Next is Nate Washington. I actually extremely like this wide receiver move. I think it's better than Hogan. Yes, he's a mediocre wide receiver, but I've seen what he's done in Tennessee and Houston. Great wide receiver. He's very fast, pretty skinny guy. He reminds me a little bit of Edelman, and I really like that move. He has good hands from what I've seen. Great speed. Very happy about that.
I like that too.
Martellus Bennett. I don't even think I have to go into great detail with this. Martellus Bennett, great tight end. Him and Gronk are going to be deadly, especially with Jimmy G at quarterback. He's just going to sling it over the field to Martellus Bennett and Gronk. And last but not least, Shea McClellan, who,
kind of flying
as weird as this sounds, yeah, as weird as this sounds, I kind of like the pickup. I know, crazy.
I do too.
I just wish we would have got Stephen Tulloch, a middle linebacker, before Shea McClellan. There's still a chance at Stephen Tulloch, but we weren't two middle linebacker system. If we had McClellan and Tulloch, that would be great 3-4-D with Hightower and Collins on the outside.
Yeah, and, I definitely like that. With the loss of Gerard Mayo.
Our losses, yes, Gerard Mayo, well, from retirement. He was doing much anyway. He got injured like every season. Not much big of a loss. Chandler Jones, as we said, kind of big loss, but we kind of make up for it a little bit with
Chris Long in the cap space, definitely.
Silver Saliga, one of our defensive tackles, he left. Not much of a big deal there. Akeem Hicks, I was really high on Akeem Hicks. I liked him a lot. He's gone. Alan Brandt, she had an okay season. He's gone too. No one really big losses besides Chandler Jones. Sleepers, I got Shea McClellan and Danny Amendola for sleepers. McClellan, no one's talking about him. Kind of our most low-key move of free agency. I think he has great. And Danny Amendola showed a lot of promise last season. Kind of weird to say that Danny Amendola showed promise on a team other than the Rams, but
yeah, he's not that bad. No one really talks about the Patriots receivers. Edelman's the only one that's pretty much talked about. But Amendola is definitely going to be good. Not great, not necessarily, but good.
Yes, I totally agree. X Factor, I got the tight end combo for the X Factors of, I mean, if they can stay healthy, this is not a New England biased championship. Seriously. I mean, I'm a Red Sox fan too, and a Bruins fan. I know what losing feels like as well. I know you're not big into those sports as much as I am, but I definitely know what some bad teams be like. I'm not the kind of person that says we're going to win a championship when we're 60-100. 62-100 rather, excuse me. But yeah, I think serious championship contender. I got 13-3. May sound a little ridiculous, but I think.
I got him 12-4.
I got Jimmy Garoppolo going 1-3.
Me too.
I really hope he does better. I really do.
I got Garoppolo going 1-3, and then Tom Brady only losing one game once he comes back.
I got Brady now losing a game.
I got Brady losing to the Jets. That's it.
I think that's going to be the team he absolutely demolishes, and Sexy Rexy's Bills are going to get crushed as well. I think the only possible loss is Seattle. That's definitely going to be a tell game. It's going to be a great game. I'm going to that game. Looking forward to it. The Jets. Moving on. Kiad, your boy Matt Forte.
Yeah,
Matt Forte.
that's not good.
He's my boy too. Don't worry about it. But I think it's bad too. He's
Letting
old.
letting a young. I think we talked about this last episode. Yeah, we did talk about this last episode. But I'm gonna say the same thing I said last time. Letting a young not receiver, excuse me. Letting a young running back who shows lots of promise, who puts his heart, basically like puts his body on the line every single play, and just letting him walk and signing an old veteran that always gets hurt in Matt Forte. Matt Forte contributes a lot when he's healthy. When he's getting older and he's not going to be healthy.
He's falling apart.
Yeah.
He's like operation. There's gonna be a Matt Forte operation in New York pretty soon. That's how bad it is. Then we got Ryan Clady, great right tackle. He was on the Super Bowl champion Broncos. I think that's a great move to shore the offensive line for Matt Forte to run behind, but I just think it's the wrong guy for them to build around Matt Forte. And you got Curry Robinson. I know Matt Forte's there, but I like that pickup because Matt Forte is a walking splint at the moment. And if he gets hurt, Curry Robinson's a great backup. Bilal Powell, not really. But Curry Robinson's definitely an upgrade at backup running back. And you really do need a backup running back in this league.
Mm-hmm.
Starters get hurt or just tired, play a lot. Losses, literally in my notes, I put Fitzy with a question mark because at the moment their starting quarterback is Geno Smith. So
yeah, they got to do something with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick has finally had a breakout season with the Jets, thanks to Todd Bowles and the offensive system and stuff like that. Great receivers around him. I don't see why he wouldn't want to resign. I don't see why the Jets wouldn't want to resign him. It makes sense for both parties for him to resign, but so far they're at a stalemate right now.
He had one bad game last year, but what no one gets is he played great in Houston the season before. He really did.
He had like a 6 touchdown game or something
crazy
like that.
Yeah, he had a great season, and that's why he got signed by the Jets. So he's really had 2 pretty solid campaigns. I believe he got hurt in Houston.
Let's count. He's played for the Bills, the Titans, the Texans, and the Jets.
Jets, yep.
Yeah, 4 teams. 4 teams in the past 4 years. 4 teams in the past 4 years.
Yeah,
and he's still playing decent. Like imagine, like he had to learn a new playbook every single year, get used to new personnel, get used to a new system. It's just kind of insane.
The Titans had a train wreck offensive line. That's why he sucked there. The Bills, I don't even think I have to explain what happened to them a couple of years ago. They were so bad. So really, he hasn't had things to flourish. At least in Houston, the offensive line isn't awful. I mean, it's not
good defense.
Not awful, good defense. He had Arian Foster for a little bit a couple years ago. And he had DeAndre Hopkins. So, young DeAndre Hopkins. Not as good as he is now, but still DeAndre Hopkins.
Where do you got him going?
You already said. I think that's a big loss. I don't think it's as big as you think it is, but I think it's a big loss. Because a D tackle, I think D tackles are important because I'll give you a little visualize.
Damon Harrison, is that what you said? I didn't hear you.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Because the D tackles push forward.
I talked about him earlier when he went to the Giants.
Right, the ends can go around. And since they have such good ends, Leonard Williams, Muhammad Wilkerson, they can just go around like that. For those not watching, just in a motion, like a circular motion, go around. And
ends contain the offense. Defensive tackles push back the offense, and middle linebackers take the tackle. That's pretty.
And if you have a good defensive tackle, that's really important, so that there's more pressure on the quarterback, more likely to go to the sides, and the ends would be right there. And then Antonio Cromartie, they didn't really lose him because they cut him, but I still think that's a kind of a loss because he's still a good cornerback. I mean, he has too many penalties for my liking, kind of like a Brandon Browner, but he's still a pretty decent corner. Maybe not even number 2 anymore. Maybe number 3, but still good enough.
Yeah, another thing. Going back to Muhammad Wilkerson and that D line. I know you said Damon Harrison. Muhammad Wilkerson at the end. They franchise tagged him, which absolutely kills cap space. They should have just re-signed him, but they didn't. But not David Harrison. I'm sorry. Muhammad Wilkerson did not want to re-sign. So they franchise tag him, which completely kills cap space, which is why they haven't made a lot of off-season moves.
Yeah, I definitely agree. and he only got tendered as well. He is not officially tagged yet, and the deadline is in an hour and a half. So I don't think he will be franchise tagged by the end of today. The X factor is the quarterback, Gino. He showed promise. I'm gonna leave it at that. Geno Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Upgrade over Mark Sanchez, but it's Geno Smith. A lefty quarterback that can run. We know what happened with those guys. Anyway, next.
Geno Smith is a lefty?
He is a lefty. Yes.
Oh, okay. I forgot. I haven't seen him play in forever. I forgot.
Yeah. I think the sleepers are Eric Decker. Big Eric Decker guy. He was great in Denver. And Sheldon Richardson. Great rusher. I'll give you my projections later. I accidentally gave you my New England projection for record-wise.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills.
So, going on the Bills.
Ed Reed to the coaching staff. Big addition right there. That's all they did. They really didn't do a thing this offseason. The least activity out of all.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wait, you may continue.
No. I was just agreeing with you. They didn't do much at all, really.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no, not at all. Losers, Mario Williams, one of their best rushers. I mean, he had a bad season last year.
That's not a huge loss, in my eyes at least. I mean, he kind of gave up on his team. I felt like at the end of the season, he's getting older. I just don't think he's ever going to be the same player again.
I just don't get. He wants the championship and goes to Miami. It's a little questionable there. And then 7-Eleven, Chris Hogan. Now, let me explain. It's not a good addition for the Pats to sign him, but it's a loss for the Bills because
they don't have any depth.
That is correct. They have no depth at number. Like we have Danny Amendola, we have Julian Edelman, Gronk, the GOAT at quarterback, Tom Brady. But I just think that when you lose your number two and don't get anyone, it's kind of hard. We saw last year Randall Cobb trying to be number one, failed miserably. So the X factor, I got the running back core. Really like the Bills running back core. How about you? What do you think about that?
I love that core. LaShawn McCoy, Carlos Williams. LaShawn McCoy kind of had a down year. He got picked up by Carlos Williams, and I forget the other running back they have. Another young guy.
Yes, they do have one more. I forget
his name.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, he's flying under the radar. But him and Carlos Williams kind of bailed out that running game. LaShawn McCoy was not doing as well.
Yeah, he definitely had a down season. But I love Carlos Williams as a running back. I think he's fantastic. He's going to be the future of this league.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's going to carry the team if they do anything this season. I mean, Tyrod Taylor is an okay quarterback. What do you think of Tyrod Taylor?
Started as a backup in Baltimore. Never really got his chance until Buffalo. Rex Ryan was interested in him when Rex Ryan was still on the Jets. Couldn't get him. Rex Ryan comes to Buffalo, is able to trade for him. Tyrod Taylor beats out EJ Manuel for the starting job. EJ Manuel and Matt Castle for the starting job. None of those quarterbacks are really too good. I mean, I know Matt Castle technically made a Pro Bowl, but still, I feel like Tyrod Taylor is the best quarterback they have on the roster. He's definitely not bad. He's not like a Mark Sanchez, for example. But he's not a superstar yet. He still has a lot of promise. He's only 1 year. He's not a rookie though, which makes me think that he might not get that much better. But then again, he had more playing time. He's gonna have more and more playing time, so he might develop into like a superstar even maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. But his passing's a iffy. He reminds me of Marcus Mariota. That's my pro comparison to him right now. Marcus Mariota. I think Marcus Mariota is a better passer and runner. But I think that if he can elevate like his passing, really, speed, you're just born with it. But passing,
just to all our viewers out there, if you hear big noises or whatever, that's because we're having a storm currently in New England.
Yeah, we're sorry about that. It's really bad outside. That's not our fault. We don't make the storms. That's Brock Lesnar. Anyway. Um, yeah, but the running back core is great, as we said. Tyrod Taylor, pretty good quarterback. Nothing. He should have made the Pro Bowl. I thought that was the dumbest thing in the history of the Pro Bowl, but not bad.
Yeah. Okay, we should have a show where we just talk about the Pro Bowl, just talk about all the problems of the Pro Bowl, talk about how to make it better, stuff like that. We should just have a show like that.
Basically, the NFL Network, how much the NFL Network sucks. On to Miami,
Yeah.
where it is not
Okay.
currently destroying outside right now. Just everything is like boom, boom. Pretty nice over there on Miami Beach. I wish I was there at the moment. Anyway, Andre Branch, key addition. What do you think of Andre Branch?
Andre Branch, man. I don't really have much to say. I feel like he hasn't really done much. He's still young. I don't really know what I think of this yet. I haven't seen enough of him play, so I don't really have much of an opinion on him.
Yeah, me too. I think it's kind of a odd pickup. Don't really have a feel on him just yet. Kiko Alonso, really like him. I like Kiko Alonso a lot. I think he's a tall middle linebacker. He's pretty good at zone. He's very fast. Good pursuit.
Yeah, he's gonna fit well in their system.
Yeah, and he's strong too. His hit power really high. He's just a great overall athlete, and I think he's really going to contribute well to the Dolphins.
They signed Mario Williams, which I don't like. I already mentioned this when talking about the Bills letting him walk. I thought that was a good move. He kind of, like I said, he definitely quit on the Bills. He's really old. He's been in the league for a very, very long time, especially for a D end. He's not going to have the kind of numbers he did earlier in his career. And they also re-signed Cameron Wake for.
Yeah, what do you think about that D line?
And Ndamukong Suh, Cameron Wake, Mario Williams. Back in like 2012, I'd be very scared. Nowadays, I'm not. Cameron Wake coming off a big injury. They re-signed him, which I don't know if that's really that good. There's going to be a lot of questions concerning his play.
Cameron Wake's a great pass rusher.
A lot of questions come into the season, whether he can still play with that injury.
It was kind of a fluke injury. The New England game.
Yeah.
It was kind of, if you watched it, just kind of a fluke thing. I wouldn't call him injury prone, really.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him injury prone either.
I just think that he's
for an older player with an injury like that. I don't know if he could still produce the same way he used to.
He's proven in the league, and I just think that he's a great pass rusher. He's up there with the elite ones in the league. He's only 34, kind of old for a pass rusher, but we've seen some guys definitely have their better years when they're older for pass rushers. I mean, you kind of hit the speed bump when you're like 36, but when he's that elite as he is, I think he'll be good for a little while. Strahan had some great years when he was a little older, so you never know.
Some great talk shows.
Yes, he is not on that talk show anymore. He's now on the
sad.
$100,000 pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
He's moving up the ranks in life.
Yeah.
Iso Amon, I'm just not gonna pronounce his name. He's a safety. All right, he was a safety on the Lions. Not much to talk about him. He's okay. They have Rashad Jones. I don't get it. Anyway, next. Byron Maxwell.
That's not good at all. Losing Brent Grimes, who had an off year last year, replacing him with another player who had a very off year, and a player who's not as proven as Brent Grimes. I don't like this move at all.
There's a lot of speculation that Brent Grimes had an off year because he was distracted because his wife was very mad at the team, which sounds pretty white. I mean, he never had really bad season before that. His wife has a problem with the team. All of a sudden, he starts sucking. Some guys are like that. It's an excuse, but it's a pretty valid excuse. What do you think about that? I know we talked about that last week. Do you think that's a valid excuse or?
Well, I don't know. Your wife isn't you. You and your wife as Susan Prevo. I know like you said last week, happy wife, happy life.
That's right. There you go.
Yes, I know you did say that last year. Not last year, last episode rather. But I don't know about that. That's kind of a fluky excuse because you're an NFL player. You're paid millions of dollars to do your job. Just because your wife is a little dissatisfied with a team doesn't mean your production should go all the way down. So I don't really know about that excuse. I don't like that excuse.
Don't you think that would affect you mentally though? And especially someone trying to figure out the routes with so many things in his mind, don't you think he'd be a little flustered? Maybe a little more agitated?
I don't know if his wife is that much of a presence on him in terms of like intimidating him and making him think differently. I don't know his wife. I don't know him personally, so I can't make
Oh,
any
I wish I
assumptions.
did.
Correct. Yeah, so did I. So do I, rather.
Um,
So, what are your predictions for this AFC East? Or do you still
I
got more
just
to talk about?
yeah, I still have a little more to talk about the
Okay.
losses. They lost Rashard Matthews. Now you did the Titans. I like it for the Titans for a pickup. I don't think it's a major loss for the Dolphins because they drafted Devontae Parker last year. So I don't know how big this is going to be. Rashard Matthews is kind of a slow guy. It's the only thing I'm not too keen about him. I mean, no receiver is slow, but there's definitely slower than others. It's one of those things that it's the cheapest, but it's really expensive, like a sports car almost.
Hmm.
It's kind of that feel to it. But yeah, I don't know how major that will be. It could be though. Lamar Miller, which I think is a huge loss for them.
Definitely.
Um, their new running
He
back
did.
is
They want a running team, which kind of disappointed a lot of people in fantasy because and that disappointed them as overall because they passed the ball a lot more than they ran it, which
for
was
no
pretty
reason.
questionable considering how great Miller's efficiency was last season.
Very. He had a great game against the Texans, as we talked about. I think it was week 4 last season. Great game.
When they actually
Um,
used him.
yeah, I know they don't use him after that. Kind of weird, if you do say so myself. Now the new running back. Do you know how to pronounce his name? Jaya.
I do not, but
Jaya.
that's a pretty good guess.
Um,
I'd say.
none of the announcers can pronounce it. I can't pronounce it. I pronounce Michael Hamawamanui, but that
Hmm.
Ajaya G, no idea. Sorry. And then Olivier Vernon. Now,
That's a big loss.
like,
You get an old player at Miley Williams to replace a young player with lots of upside. I don't like that at all.
yeah, they produce. Yeah, he's only 25 years old. That's the thing. He's only 25. Cameron Wake is 34. Mario Williams is 30, up in
5,
30s, 35. Yeah, I think
I
so as
think.
well. 30. Yeah, he's definitely up there in the 30s. So why would you sign old players when you have a great young player on your team? Do you understand that? Because I really don't. I think it's a bad
Whoa,
questionable move. That is
big
thunder,
thunder there.
everyone. Um,
It's
yeah.
okay. Let me give you some context. When we started recording, it was 90. It was like 93 degrees out, sunny. Now it's dark and gray and thunderstorming. So that's
And
just
welcome to
that's
New
really good
England,
for you.
everyone. Yeah. We disrespected Mario Williams. He is 31 years old.
Oh, what?
um, I thought he was 35 as well.
Yeah, me too.
Oh well.
Whatever.
He just acts like he's 35 years old. The X factor for me is Ryan Tannehill. Oh my god.
I know.
Ryan Tannehill has to play consistently. If he doesn't, they're done. I mean,
Yeah.
don't you think this is the hot seat? This is the end for Tannehill?
Yeah. Yeah, if he doesn't play well, I don't see them. I think they already did. They re-sign him yet from his rookie contract? I
They
think they already did.
they did, but
But
these
I don't.
players,
I see them trading him away or
right? Yeah,
fetching him, replacing him backup, something like that. As the Redskins do with RG3, he hasn't played as terribly as RG3 has.
not
He
even
also
close.
didn't have a great season like RG3, but still, I feel like this is the hot seat for him. He's been in the league for a while now. We can't just say, oh, he's still learning the system because he's been in the league for that long. He's been on the same team. There's no excuse at this point.
Well, I think the difference with 33 is when he's healthy. We saw it in college. When he's healthy and his rookie year, he's great.
Hmm.
And when he's hurt, he sucks. It makes sense. He likes to roll around. He likes to throw. That's different. That's a valid excuse that he's not the same player when he's hurt. Yes, I know it's his fault that he gets hurt. You know,
No,
like,
I was talking about Ryan Tannehill for the no excuses
oh
part. I was
yes, I
talking about
know,
RG3.
I know. But like I'm saying, that's an excuse. That's a valid excuse.
Yeah.
That if he could stay healthy, he'd probably be a pretty good quarterback. We'll see it this year. Fully healthy, we'll see how he does. If he does good, then there you go. But Ryan Tannehill has no excuse, none. He was a college wide receiver at Texas A&M, converted to a quarterback. Now I've
Backup
seen
Julian Edelman. I
right.
mean, reverse Julian Edelman, rather.
Yes, I've seen many people be successful, like you just said, Julian Edelman, um, Braxton Miller. Like that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, Braxton Miller, um, Ohio
Yeah,
Buckeye,
we have
Heisman
Mohamed Sanu as well.
Heisman candidate, Mohamed Sanu, Julian Edelman, as we already said. Just great wide receivers now that were previously quarterbacks, but I think it's much harder to do the opposite.
So you want to go into your predictions for the division in terms of records? I know you already said the Patriots, but how about everyone else that we talked about?
All right, we're gonna go to. I'm just gonna go a little out of order here. So the Jets with Fitzy, I got them going 10-6.
Oh, I got them going 8-8 without Fitzy because I don't know what's going on there.
No, I said with Fitzy, with Fitzy.
Oh yeah. But if they don't sign Fitzy, I agree with you if they do re-sign Fitzy, but without Fitzy, I say 8-8.
Oh, without Fitzy, I got 6-10.
Ooh.
I don't think they're gonna be too good. The Bills, I got 9-7.
I got 7-9.
They're the same exact team from last year. Rex Ryan may try to, finagle his way to a playoff spot this year. The AFC is not as good as the NFC. It seems like the West teams are always better in every single sport except baseball. So I mean, it's just how life works.
Yeah, I got. What do you got about the Dolphins? With a lot of questions coming to the season, what do you got them going?
I got them going 10-6.
Ooh, dude,
That's,
I got them going opposite. I got them going 6-10.
see, I think that defensive line. I know no Olivier Vernon, but I think this is the last good year for Mario Williams. Last good year. They're gonna get 1 year out of him, and then he's gonna be trash. I don't think he's gonna be trash this year, but that defense I really like. I know they're old, but with Sue, Wake, Mario Williams, they got no corners really. That's gonna be the iffy part if they can develop a corner.
Like they have an older defensive line and their lack of corners in this and their secondary is not too great. I know they got a good safety.
Yeah, they get a great safety, and I like the middle linebacker too, Kiko Alonso, as we already said.
So
what do you got?
I'm going 6-10.
Yeah,
they lost from Lamar Miller. So I don't like that. Olivia Vernon's gone.
So that's it for football this week. Would you like to say any more about the AFC, NFC East? Anything you might have missed or would like to emphasize more?
The NFC is a crapshoot. The NFC East is always changing. The AFC is a little more consistent with the Patriots at the top, and So I think the AFC East has improved overall. I know it used to be a one-team division, and now I know the Patriots are still going to win it, but at least it seems like it's going to be a little more competitive this season.
Honestly,
as opposed to other past seasons.
Besides the Pats, the other three teams, any of them, two of them, or maybe just any of those three teams right there, I could see in the playoffs. It wouldn't surprise me if they were in the playoffs. The only thing that may surprise me a little bit,
if Fitzy's on the Jets, yes.
Yes, if Fitzy's on the Jets. If no Fitzy, even then, I would be a little less surprised if.
Well, they got Mark Sanchez to a championship game, so.
Yes, there you go. That's exactly right. So let's go to the NBA. Close this show out with some little NBA news. I would just like to go to something I said back to last week. I said the Brooklyn Nets were going to be a pretty decent team. That has gone completely out the window.
Yep, definitely.
Alan Crabb, who I was quite excited about going to the Nets. I'm not even a Nets fan, but I was happy that he would get to start. He's not going to the Nets. His offer sheet was matched by Portland, so no Crabb. Tyler Johnson, I was very high on. Probably be another great player for the Nets. He is also gone. So they really are just
those Boston Nets picks are still going to be valuable, which is pretty good for us Celtics fans.
Pretty good for the Celtics fans, yes, because I was a little scared of that. They weren't going to be a playoff team, but they were definitely going to be, with
like a 10 seed or something like that.
Yeah,
10 seed in the East.
Right, exactly. So it's a little less. And they got Luis Scola. I think that's awful. Randy Foye. Now they're just signing old journeyman veteran players. Really bad for the Nets.
I want to see this. I want to see a game. I want to see an NBA team that wins 0 games, and I really hope it's the Nets. I don't think it's going to be this year with the Nets, but I really hope that they'll just get worse and worse.
They even signed former number 1 pick Anthony Bennett, who, if he doesn't turn it around, the worst number 1 pick of all time in any sport. I will say that with certainty. Ryan Leaf had some good games. I know he was in number 1.
Jamarcus Russell.
He was up there. Jamarcus Russell had some good games. This guy hasn't done. I think the most points he scored in a game was like 6 or something. I mean, number 1 pick. I'm sure they would like that. Boban Marjanovic is a Piston. It is official.
Yeah, that's I like that. I like that a lot.
I like that too. He was a great player last year. He was kind of under the radar on the Spurs because the Spurs, even though they're a great team, they're not televised too much. Not as much as other teams like the Warriors or even.
Yeah. So going back to the Spurs, I really like. Did we talk about this last time with Pau Gasol? Was he
We
already
did.
signed by that point? Okay, we
Yes,
did.
he
Okay.
was signed. Yes. They
Yeah,
just
because I
re-signed.
know he's signed, but
They just re-signed Manu Ginobili. What do you think about that?
uh, I, I don't know because he's an older player. He's probably gonna retire soon because Tim Duncan obviously retiring. All time great right there. But I feel like the Spurs are still going to be a very good team for years to come. They're a great organization. They got some young players like Kawhi, but they also got most of the roster right now is old. But I have faith in the Spurs to build another great run of teams. So
Yeah, I think Ginobili, great bench presence. He's probably the best bench player in NBA history, best sixth man. So I know
ooh,
Jamal Crawford has the most awards for sixth man of the year, yada yada yada. But Jamal Crawford should be a starter on like half those teams, so that doesn't really count.
Kevin McHale.
Kevin McHale was a great bench player, but he started as well for some of those Celtics teams. But I think pure bench because Manu is like rarely started. Manu's usually always on the bench. That's what like those other guys started at points in their career. Manu has been basically the bench the entire time. He's rarely started. It's like breaking news in San Antonio when Manu Ginobili starts.
Yeah.
But I think he had a great season last season for a 39-year-old. um, playing pretty good. But we saw what happened with Tim Duncan. He was great 38, sucked at 39. I mean,
Yeah.
same kind of concept.
He had a playoff. I forget. I don't remember what round it was. But Tim Duncan had a playoff game. We didn't score a single field goal. So
Yes, that was against the Thunder. And his last game, he did great, though. He almost
yeah,
led
he
a
did.
comeback in that game until he went for a dunk and Serge Ibaka. Kind of a no call there. Fell flat on his face, and that was the end of Tim Duncan. Kind of sad, but kind of like other sports, you go out on your back. That's the old way of doing it. So that's how he wanted to go out. My favorite pickup recently, Jarrett Jack to the Hawks. Now, I know we've been, really high on this Jarrett Jack character.
Yep.
Um, he averaged 12.8 points per game and 7.5 rebounds per game last year for the Nets till he had an ACL injury. I think that's a great pickup for the Hawks. He could be the starting shooting guard because Kyle Korver's kind of old. Jarrett Jack's a little younger, or he could be point guard. Maybe teach Dennis Schroeder the ropes. I don't think that will happen because I think the Hawks are sold to Dennis Schroeder. To be honest, I don't know why. Dennis Schroeder
Yeah.
has very
Yeah.
streaky shooting. He has great nights.
Like
He has
his hair.
just like his hair, very crazy, very mixed. And you wanna know the stinker about this? A guy that almost averaged a double last year. You know some of the crazy contract that have happened. Guess his salary this year. Guess. Take a wild guess on Jared
Who am I
Jack's
guessing on? Jared
Jared
Jack.
Jack's contract right now.
20 million a year.
20
Something
million.
ridiculous like that.
He's getting 1.55 million a year.
Oh, okay. That makes a little more sense. The 20
Almost
million.
a double
I
double.
just wanted to go super high on that and see what happened.
1.11. Yeah, it's the opposite. It's crazy for
Yeah,
how
I
low it
know.
is.
It's
And yet Berzan Monovic there is getting 3 years, 21 million for basically being a bench player on the Spurs. Just shows you the NBA right there. But yeah, I think that's a great pickup. Whenever you can get someone cheap, I think it's good. And we already said Portland keeping Alan Crabb. That's big for them. And they got Myers Leonard too. They re-signed Myers Leonard. Excuse me.
Portland's an upcoming team. I feel like.
Portland, yes, they just got Shabazz
looking for a
Napier to be.
breakout.
They got
Big
Shabazz
breakout.
Napier to be backup point guard, which I think is phenomenal. Shabazz was great at UConn. He pulled a Kemba Walker. He led them to the championship. He's the second Kemba Walker, and hasn't really got a chance to play. He was in Miami. He shined a little bit in Miami. Then he got traded to Orlando. Didn't really do anything in Orlando, and now here he is. He played in the summer league the other day, which I'll talk about later. Summer league though. But yeah, and the most surprising thing I think was on the Heat re-signing Udonis Haslem. I was kind of confused about that. He is an older man. He's been on the team for 14 years. He is now the longest tenured Heat player now that D Wade is gone.
Kind of makes me sad.
Yeah, it makes me sad too. And he's the last player in the 2006 championship team on the roster right now. It's a little fun fact. I don't know what. I think they should move on. And then Jared Sullinger to the Raptors, former Celtics big man. Do you think that was a big loss for the Celtics or a better move for the Raptors?
That's a big move for the Raptors. Celtics apparently getting Blake Griffin. I've been hearing that for 2 years. I don't know how true that is. If they're probably not going to get Blake Griffin, because trades like that never really happen too much. Especially like the trades like that are always rumored. I don't know how sure the Celtics are on getting Blake Griffin. I don't think it's going to happen.
According to Chris Broussard, I just want to put something in real quick. According to Chris Broussard this morning, Doc Rivers just came out not too long ago, like a couple days ago. I think this might have been yesterday, possibly. It was very, very short time, and he just broke the news not too long ago that Doc Rivers said Blake Griffin will not be traded. He is not tradable.
Yeah. So
there you go with that.
So yeah, those rumors about I knew that wasn't gonna happen. So, but still, I don't think the loss of Jared Sullinger is. I think it's big, but I don't think it's like a deal breaker for the Celtics team. I think it's more of a great move by the Raptors than it is a super loss by the Celtics.
I just got breaking news regarding Von Miller. Von Miller reportedly getting 6 years, $114.5 million deal, $70 million guaranteed, largest ever for a defensive player.
Wow.
What's your input on that?
Wow. Super Bowl MVP getting paid. He wasn't even one of the best players at his position. He was second best. I know. I know we argued about this. But I don't think he's the best. I don't think he's the best at this position right now. Right now is a golden era for outside linebackers. Right now, I know you could argue that back then with Lawrence Taylor. Right now, it's a golden era. No, I'm not saying he's not the best, but I'm saying now.
Yeah, I know.
It's the golden era of outside linebackers right now. There's so many. Like it seems like every team has a good one.
Seriously,
like, at least a decent one, at least. And I don't think he's even the best at his position right now. I know Super Bowl MVP played great in the playoffs, not denying his greatness. But there's another guy, a younger guy, a guy up on the up and coming. I know me and you. I disagreed with you at first, and then you convinced me. Khalil Mack.
Thank you. Khalil Mack is one of my favorite players in the NFL. I love Khalil Mack. He is a all-pro at two positions. In my personal opinion, he is the second best defensive player in the NFL because J.J. Watt may be the second best player of all time. So unless Khalil Mack can, get to his standards right now, I think Khalil Mack is the second best in the league. It's kind of like
J.J. Watt had more time. J.J. Watt's been in the league longer.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll have to see with Khalil Mack. But right now, he's definitely number one upcoming players. You can give me love Derek Carr too, but I would take franchise tomorrow. I made you.
When we talk about the AFC West, we're going to be talking a lot about the Raiders and the upside they have.
Yeah, that'll be next week. The West. We'll do the AFC West and NFC West. All right, back on track here with the NBA.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was just.
We're talking about the loss. We're talking about the loss of Jared Sullinger.
That's right. Jared Sullinger tried to be a stretch four last season and failed miserably. If he sticks with his bread and butter, he's like a center. He's not that tall, but if he tries to pound the ball in, he had good success. He's a great rebounder. He's a little short, though. That's the problem. But I think he's a good pickup for the Raptors, and I think it's good for the Celtics to move on with him.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing, he's 24 years old, so we could give him another year.
Yeah, he still had time.
Yeah, he still had time left on him.
Speaking more of the Celtics, what do you think about the potential Russell Westbrook trade, which probably won't happen? Did you say like the Blake Griffin one that's been talked about for 2 years?
Another report, I was just reading it actually. They may not trade him because Russell Westbrook is not 100% on leaving.
Yo, my dog's freaking out because of the Thunder. Because Russell Westbrook. Yeah. He's the real life Thunder.
Russell Westbrook. Now I think this is awful. What the Thunder are doing right now. They said he's not 100% that Russell Westbrook's leaving. They weren't 100% on Durant leaving either. Yeah, look at what happened to Durant. So they're gonna lose Westbrook too, apparently. I think there's actually a high chance of us getting Westbrook. So just
Russell Westbrook said he won't re-sign with the Thunder next year.
he
So
won't.
I think they gotta trade him. I don't know if he's going to Boston.
I just think Silverstein's an awful GM.
Mhm. They gotta go into rebuild mode now. Yeah, they have some good pieces. They don't have any superstars to rebuild around if Westbrook leaves. But definitely they can't just let Westbrook walk. They gotta trade him to get something in return. They can't just let him walk away. Just like
They
Durant
definitely
did.
need some
They didn't get
pieces.
anything. They didn't get anything in return for Durant leaving. Obviously, a free agency. They gotta trade Westbrook. No, they should
I
trade
agree.
Westbrook. They definitely gotta trade Westbrook before the season starts, so they can just completely tank and get a good draft pick.
I would draft for the Nets picks because then you have maybe the first and second pick in the draft potentially.
Yeah.
Their team right now without Westbrook is let me get this straight. They got Andre Robertson, great defensive player. If he can get his three going, he'll be definitely great in this league. I love defensive players. I think he's the best defender in the league as guard wise besides Avery Bradley, second best. I think that's great. Victor Oladipo, is a great player. I like Victor Oladipo. And the mustache pros, Steven Adams and Enes Kanter.
Okay. So I think this is a great discussion. With like all the things we talked about. I think this was a great episode. Do you got anything more to add before the episode's over?
Um, I have a few more things.
Oh, you do. Okay. I thought we were
Okay.
done. Okay.
James
Okay. Let's keep
Harden.
going.
James Harden, 4 years, $118 million contract extension.
Disrespectful considering the contracts other people have gotten in this so far. It's I don't know.
I think. Now let's put it like this. I think it's low if Mike Conley's getting what Mike Conley's getting,
Yes.
but I'm not as sold to James Harden as other people are. He is not an efficient player at all. He turns the ball over a lot. He uses the same moves a lot. Um, he's a pretty good shooter, but even then, he's had some pretty good field goal percentage collapses. Like he'll go 5 for 5 to start, and then he'll end up 5 for 30. He gets to the free throw line a lot. That's good, but if you're ball hog and just shoot and miss, I mean, they signed Ryan Anderson. He's gonna need some looks. The Rockets are gonna be a pretty good team next year.
Hmm.
Maybe not playoffs, but definitely.
Yeah, they're not going to playoffs. They lost Dwight Howard. They don't have a good big man. They don't have a superstar big man rather.
Yeah, they have
So
Nene.
they don't have a superstar big man. I know Nene. I'm not really too up on Nene. He's not as good as Dwight Howard. I know Dwight Howard has some effort issues, chemistry issues, stuff like that. Dwight Howard kind of kills your locker room, but
Yeah,
he was still a great player. And I feel like without a big name big man, I don't think they can go super far in the playoffs in the regular season. I think they might be like a 9 seed team.
their lineup's questionable. I really can't tell you what their lineup's gonna be. I mean, James Harden's a little small for the three, but he may have to play the three. It may be like Patrick Beverly, Eric Gordon, James Harden at the three, Ryan Anderson, and then Nene. Kind of a small ball lineup.
If they come at the 3, I don't know how well that team.
Yeah, I don't know. It may work, but I don't know. I've seen some really bad small ball lineups. I'm sure you have as well. Of just really, really bad. The guys shooting threes that can't. That's where the NBA is going, though. I mean, a lot of people shooting out of their range.
Potential 4-point line.
Yeah,
I would not want that. I would not want to see that at all. We can maybe talk about that in a future episode.
Yeah. What do you think about Draymond Green getting arrested?
I think it's for whatever reason. I don't really know the severity. I know it's assault. I don't really know. Has the NBA made a statement on this? I haven't seen anything.
I have not seen the NBA make a statement yet.
So depending on as of this recording, we have not seen a statement made by the NBA regarding it, like a suspension, anything like that. So it's kind of tough to see where it's going to go. I think that's really irresponsible for a player in a professional league, gets millions of dollars. All he has to do is just behave and play basketball. That's all he has to do, and he can't do one of those things. He can't behave.
I think that was a knock
that makes me
on
mad.
Draymond Green. He's very hot-headed.
Hmm.
He's extreme. I mean, all the time he's getting into fights in a court. I mean, this guy was suspended for Game 5 of the finals. Maybe not rightfully so, that tech. But the fact that he had that many technicals to begin with.
I don't like him getting suspended in the finals because
Neither do I. But
yeah, that seems really fluky to me. I know the Cavs played better overall in that series, but that just doesn't seem. I don't like that. I think in a finals they should have all your best players out. He should have got fined. I don't think he should have got suspended for that.
I mean, I think the technical should have been called in the game,
Mm-hmm.
and then he would get suspended because that's the rule. The rule is a good rule. If you, it's kind of like DUIs and stuff. If you're like a pest and not doing what you're supposed to be doing, you can't get the privilege, and the privilege is playing in the NBA Finals. So I don't think it should have been called after the fact, but I definitely think it should have been called in the game. And I think it's the Warriors' excuse, and it's not going to work this season when they lose to the Spurs or the Cavs. I think they're not going to be as good as everyone's making them out to be.
Yeah, of course, chemistry issues, injury issues. Steph Curry is he's kind of injury prone. I know a lot of people don't like
He
hearing
is
that.
injury prone, yeah.
He's injury prone. Kevin Durant, I wouldn't say he's injury prone, but he has been injured in his career. I'm not gonna say he's injury prone.
I wouldn't call Kevin Durant injury prone.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him that.
He's on the brisk. He's like the Gronk line, where he's been injured a few times, but then has stayed pretty healthy. So I think he's like right there with Gronk on the brisk of being injury prone.
Chemistry issues as well. You know, Draymond Green doesn't. Draymond, I know, like with a big new star, there's gonna be problems. Like Miami, like for example, wasn't super dominant at first, as a lot of people thought they were gonna be. I think it's gonna be another situation like this because chemistry issues. 4 people basically like hogging and wanting the ball, and 3 superstars. So I don't really know how it's gonna work out. It's gonna be tough at first for the Warriors.
There were a Ray Allen 3 away from being 1-3 in the finals. So that Miami team wasn't that good. It's not as good as everyone. I love playing with them in 2K, but they're not as good as everyone makes them out to be. They got lucky in the finals. They should have lost in 6. And if Manu would have made some free throws, I know woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, old saying. But those are things that it's not like, you know, if Tom Brady didn't throw that pick that was like, you know, fluky. That kind of stuff. Yeah, that kind of stuff happens. But the difference of making and missing a free throw, that's something that, you know, you can pinch someone on. Summer League.
I haven't been watching the Summer League like you have. I personally don't really enjoy the Summer League that much. So you're gonna do most of the talking here in the Summer League section.
I just for the Summer League, I was just gonna roast the Summer League. I saw
D'Angelo Russell's been playing insane, but then
D'Angelo Russell has been playing insane, but it's Summer League.
Much. Exactly.
You should take it with. I'm gonna quote Chris Bruce out again. My boy Chris Bruce. Quote: "You should treat Summer League with a grain of salt." End quote. That was from ESPN this morning, the 11th-hour edition. I totally agree with him. I've seen players do good in Summer League that have sucked. And I've seen players do bad in Summer League that have been great. Andrew Wiggins had a pretty bad Summer League a couple of years ago. Now I would start a franchise with Andrew Wiggins tomorrow.
Yeah.
Anthony Towns didn't do great. Anthony Towns' skill set.
I love Minnesota.
Amazing. Yeah, I love Minnesota too. I like Minnesota's team a lot. With backup point guard Tyus Jones, I'm just talking about the young guys. Tyus Jones, he showed promise. I think he might be the starting point guard pretty soon. You got Kevin Martin shooting the lights out. He's a great 3-point shooter. You got Anthony Towns. You got Andrew Wiggins. It's gonna be a great team. You got Pekovic on the bench. Sometimes he starts. So yeah, I think that's a really good team, and I think go places this season. But as far as Summer League goes, it doesn't really matter who wins. Last year, the Kings won Summer League.
That's just an insignificant thing.
Yeah, I mean the Warriors.
Aren't there like 3 different conferences? I don't really know much about the Summer League.
All right. So there is the Orlando,
the
Las Vegas, and the Salt Lake City, and then you play in 2 of them, and then at the end of it, they seed you, and like if you're a higher seed, you get a first round bye, and then you do a big tournament for the Summer League championship, which is basically useless because not even the teams with the best young players win. It not even joking. Like the Kings won last year. The Kings don't have good young talent. They really don't.
Yeah, because it's just I don't like the Summer League. I never pay attention to it. I think it's dumb. It doesn't really solve anything for me.
I
I know
think it's good
it gives
for
some
the
people
young
their
players.
basketball
Yeah.
fit. Some people their basketball fix for the summer. Same as how like the preseason and like sort of the summer league of college football does to football fans and stuff like that. But I honestly don't like it. It's
Yeah, I'm
just
not a big
sad.
fan. I think they need it though, definitely for the
They
young
do need it.
talent.
They do need it. Yes, to develop the young talent. It's like a lot like the baseball minor leagues and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right. But the thing I think is kind of stupid is they've been benching players. Like Ben Simmons hasn't played in a couple of days.
Yeah,
Jalen
this is
Brown hyperextended his knee. It can cause injury, cause
completely
stuff.
point. It's just not good, especially the young. I think the young players should get some experience at playing against other pros or potential pros. Like you don't know if these players are gonna get cut. Some of these players are gonna get cut,
Yeah, like the
but definitely playing it.
journeyman.
Yeah, like yeah, exactly. But I feel like sometimes basketball is a lot of people don't like to say this, but I feel like it's a pretty physical game. It's not as physical as like say football or whatever or hockey, but it is a physical game, and injuries do happen. So injuring your young talent before they even play a real game, I feel like that's kind of a risk.
Yeah, and it's not like they're getting as much potential as playing in the D League. The D League, they do have a D League All Star team that's been destroying the other team. So I mean, the D League team, I think it's stupid that they have one in summer league. I guess it gives them
They
notoriety.
should they should have one or the other. I don't think they should just have
Yeah,
both.
because basically the D League team has been destroying because they basically take the All Stars from the D League, which are going to be future NBA stars, and they're just destroying other teams with them. So I don't think that's too fair.
Hmm.
I think the D League's a great invention though for the NBA. I'm surprised the NFL hasn't adopted this yet. The hockey has the AHL,
And
MLB
I know
has single
pretty
A,
much
double A,
every
triple A,
major sport has it except
except
football.
football. Yeah, I'm surprised football. I think they'll adopt it eventually. What do you think? Do you think football will ever adopt like a minor league system?
Yeah, I think so. I know there's like I think there used to be like a weird like trading camp sort of league, like trading camp MVPs and awards like that and stuff
I'm
like
pretty
that.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, there used to be like a trading camp sort of league. I forget. I don't know for sure, but I think they used to be like in the early like mid '90s, early 2000s. But I think they should definitely have that. Uh, well, then again, it may have another like it's a physical sport, so young players that could have potential could get hurt. But I
I
think they should have it though. I think because the NFL is different than college football. Some of the rules are different, play clock's different, offenses and defenses are very different. And I feel like college football to NFL is a big transition for a lot of players. They have to get used to it, and I feel like minor leagues like that will get them used to it.
no, I'm not saying do flag football here,
Yeah,
but I think
no.
it maybe should do like a 10 on 10,
So
six
like a
on
Pro
six
Bowl
kind
kind of
of
game.
6 on 6 kind of thing. Maybe less
Oh.
players. Sub them out more often. Maybe have like your quarterback start for a half, kind of like the Arena Football League. That's really where the minors are now.
Mhm.
I don't know if you keep
Yeah,
tabs on the Arena Football
that's
League.
what mainly
A
most of
lot
the
of
semi-pro people go to.
Yeah, a lot of Arena Football talent gets signed all the time. So
I
yeah,
believe Josh Norman has a brother in arena football. I don't know if
mm,
that's true, but I believe he does. Or who used to play arena football.
yeah. I don't know
I
if
don't
he
know if
still
that's
does,
true.
but I'm pretty sure he used to. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's a definitely great ground. I actually like Arena Football. I think some of the
I
rules are
do
a little
too.
stupid.
I love arena football. I mean, so like you said, some of the rule changes they need to. I think they need to realign their league a little bit, but I really like it.
Now think fast: Arena Football or CFL?
Ooh, that's tough. CFL is a lot more difficult. There's a lot better competition. But I feel like I like arena football to watch a lot better. I think CFL is a better league, but I like arena football watching from like a viewer's perspective.
Now I don't know if you know this, but a lot of the CFL, besides Canadians, clearly, is filled up with a lot of college players that weren't drafted. Like I say this all the time. There was a man. Now don't quote me on that. It was his name was Klein, and he played for Kansas State like 5 years ago. They lost one game. They were third. That was before the college football playoff. They finished third. They won the bowl they were in. And second to Heisman voting for Johnny Football, Johnny Manziel. I know, but still, if you're second to Heisman voting, I think you should at least get drafted. He was not drafted at all, and he played pretty good for the CFL. So that just shows you that sometimes
CFL is a
NFL
lot
gear.
better. I like the CFL is a lot better. competition, and the CFL is a lot more difficult. It's very different. I know that both of the leagues are very different from the NFL, but like for example, that they only have 3 downs rather than 4. Um, the field's longer, and it's like I forget how long exactly. There's 12 men on the field rather than 11. I know some of their formation rules are differently. I don't think they have as strict formation rules as the NFL. Like I don't think they have as
I don't
many
think they have
illegal
a man in
formations.
motion rule.
Yeah, they don't have a man motion rule. You're correct about that.
Yeah, just like this year, Vernon Adams, um, quarterback of the Ducks, is now on the Montreal Alouettes.
So back to the NBA Summer League.
Yeah.
Wow.
Brandon Ingram has looked okay. His shooting's been a little streaky. That's the only thing that you can really tell about Summer League is the shooting. I mean, you can't really tell anything else besides how good a player shoots. I think the Celtics ever picked Jaylen Brown struggled a little bit shooting, but I think both those guys can pick it up eventually. Jaylen Brown's looked phenomenal. His moves, not his shooting, but his moves.
Yeah, a lot of people were upset we got him, but rather than trading
Yeah.
him, but
He looks pretty good. He looks pretty
yeah,
good.
he does. I watched some highlights not too long ago, like a little earlier in the day.
Yeah, definitely a great move. So we're gonna wrap it up for Sox and 60. Please like and comment, subscribe, of course. That would be nice. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you didn't
Follow us
like.
on SoundCloud. If you're listening to this on SoundCloud, follow us on YouTube.
Yeah, and we're gonna do another one next week. Next week we're gonna do the AFC West and the NFC West. So look forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's all. Thank you for watching. Enjoy.